Okay, so now I would like to show you what I've done. I've been spending a lot of time. So I took this file that I've created, which is the paths that were used to select the different layers of the parchment. So for instance, as I've explained, the blue is the backmost layer, then the green, then the red. And here is the file. So this is it. This is actually the finished file. You can see that there's quite a 3D look to this because there's now shadows being placed in different layers. You can see the shadows here. So it has a sort of depth to it. It was very difficult. A lot of hours work. But I'm very happy with it. So this is now ready to be output as artwork for laser cutting. Still have to do the bleed and get the vector files for the actual cutting file, but if I start, just let you see what I've done here. If I hide all that, hide that, hide that. Oh, it's jammed. Yeah, it's quite memory intensive actually. The file is about 400 megabytes, which is reasonably big for a file, I guess. If this stops whirring round, I'll be able to show you. So while that's thinking, yeah, so what I would have done is switched off these layers, and the blue was selected along with this line or this path here. That's the registration. So I selected this and I copied that file or artwork and I placed it into Photoshop. In fact, I think what I'll do, to make it easier to show you, I'm going to go back to the history and I'm actually going to delete hidden layers. Yeah, this will be much easier to manage now. So if I hide all these layers, I can let you see what I have done. So that is the blue layer. Okay, so that was the selection with from the blue path, and then if I switch that off, that's the green layer and that's the red layer. So these three layers together create this image. The seals are missing, but they're actually on another layer, so you can see the seals there. So that was quite difficult, but I'm very happy with the end result. Just to let you see if I can switch off this and this. So to let you understand that not only did I have to select these three layers, but I also had to edit out so what's underneath each layer is different, so that it looks like it's three different, complete different pieces of parchment. And you can see that demonstrated if I switch on this layer here, which is like a grey tint. That'll soften that. Yeah, so in fact I'll do that even more. So now you can see on top what happens when I switch on and off the layer on top. So you can see now that underneath this layer of tabs, it's completely different underneath. That was very difficult to figure out so as it looked real. The thing is, in this 3D parchment that I'm producing, you'll never get to see under there unless you actually lift it up, but it'll be framed under glass. But there will be an element of crushing and sort of folding to make it look as if it's not just going to hang straight, so from an angle you could in theory see underneath. So I really wanted to go to that level of detail. And you can also see, if I duplicate this layer here and move that above the green, then switching on the red layer, which is on top of the green, you can then see that underneath that layer it's actually different. So, wow, I'm going to be dreaming about this, I think. This bit was really quite interesting. So what I also did, if I switch off these layers, I created shadows. So that's the shadow on and off. And each of these shadows create depth to the actual image. Oh, I've just moved something. Edit, undo. Yeah, I'll zoom out now. So that's the shadow off, shadow off, shadow off. I'm sure there's another shadow hiding there somewhere. So I'll just switch it all on again. So yeah, I'll switch it off. So we have the blue, then we have a blue shadow. That makes it go dark, and then we have the green, then we have a green shadow, then we have the red on top. We have a shadow on top of some of the red, just to add some finishing shapes. We also then have shadows here along the tabs. And that gives depth to this area. And then finally all the seals then can be shown. They sit on top of these bits. These red ones and the dark blue. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, I lightened that a little bit. And then I took away that shadow. Yeah, so this is basically the end result of all my work, and you can actually now see there quite clearly the 3 dimensions, how it really looks quite amazing. So this is going to be printed on fine art giclée paper at 88% the original size of the actual document, and that's going to be laser cut and assembled into a 3-dimensional art piece in a high quality box frame. Everything made in Scotland, the frames made in Scotland, the laser cutting is in Scotland, printed in Arbroath, yeah, so that's the Declaration of Scottish Independence, Arbroath 1320. Print, artwork ready to take to the next stage.